2 blocks away from my house was this lavish bungalow. A bungalow that was empty since I was born. But I was as curious as a cat and asked my parents questions every time. But they seemed to dodge my questions with utmost perfection every time. Now this made my curiosity level rise further, as curious as the Mars rover looking for life. Now I inquired, was intrigued, and asked a couple of rowdy older friends in my society and found out there are certain ghostly stories associated with that bungalow. Now as soon as I heard it, I paid no heed to it because ghosts, they don't exist, do they? I'm sane enough to understand that. I realized that the vessel of my curiosity is now full, and I went on with my monotonous life. It was one of those usual evenings. Now playing cricket in India on streets is as common as finding an IT engineer on the streets of Bangalore. So with that, I was a fairly good batsman. I was batting and I hit a 6. And this time it went a little high on the rooftop of the ghostly bungalow. Now it was 7 in the evening and the breeze was intense and particularly ghastly. Now my friend Nikhil was terrified and petrified with the thought of going alone to that bungalow and getting the ball. So we laughed at him, but we decided let us all five of us go together and get the ball back. So all of us were nonchalant, barring Nikhil, who was very petrified, and the expression on his face was priceless. We all had a very good laugh, took our bats and walked in. The main gate opened with a screeching noise. And suddenly, there was a hand on my shoulder. I turned back with a shock and fear. It was the old watchman of my society. With his eyes wide open, he came close to me and whispered, "Don't do it. Don't do it. There's a thin line that separates the dead and the living. Don't wake them. Don't make them walk." I looked at him like, exactly what happened? And we knew that this watchman was known for his gibberish rather than his duties, so we decided to ignore him and actually try to find the way in. So we walked in. The breeze again was very intense, and the moment we walked in, we suddenly felt a little cold and shadowy. And suddenly there was a loud thud, bam, and we were thrown aback. The main gate opened suddenly. The terror that Nikhil had in his heart was now in our hearts too, but too foolish to understand that and accept that, we stepped inside the bungalow. Now the sun had almost set, so the lighting was very dim, but the faint moonlight that was coming from the windows made us realize the beauty of the house. The ceilings, the decorations were ornate and very lavish. With both admiration and fear in our eyes, we walked in and gazed across the room. The furniture was immaculate, covered with white sheets and dust all over. Moving further, we again heard a loud thud. The door we came in from suddenly was shut, and we started screaming. Few seconds later, we held our hands together and stopped screaming, except for one scream. A scream with a lower monotone. A scream begging for mercy. Now the fear had subsided into us, subsided so deep that the shivering was hard to control. We realized that wasting time is futile. We should go, run, get our ball, and go back to our houses. A few minutes later, that lower monotone screaming stopped, and we started looking for the staircase. We found the staircase finally, which was extremely dark and extremely frightening. But we somehow mustered courage and we decided to walk in. It was coarse dark, and as soon as the first step that we took, Nikhil, my friend, realized that he stepped on grass, which was very unusual. But considering the situation where we were already very frightened, we thought, let's not think about the grass for a minute and think about getting the ball and going to our houses. So we went on. But this time, as I walked on, I felt it. That suspicious grass was stuck to my shoe. I was not scared, but very annoyed. So I bent down, tried to scrape off that suspicious grass from my shoe. Moments later, I got up. And moment later, when I and my friend saw my hand, it was not the grass. It was something else. Something that made tears roll out of her eyes. They were hairs. Human hairs stuck to my shoe with blood. And the fear was so much. We started screaming so much that our screams could have been heard by the 80-year-old uncle sleeping 3 blocks away. We forgot about everything. We ran upstairs, shut down the door, forgot about the ball, and started praying. With every line of prayer that we enchanted, we could hear the screeching noise of nails being dragged on the other side of the metal door. With tears gushing out of our eyes, we kept praying unless and until we heard the familiar whisper. The whisper that warned us not to wake up the dead. We turned back and it was the old watchman once again. He was, with his eyes wide open, he was staring down our throats. We said sorry, we begged for our mercy, and with tears gushing out of our eyes, we all fainted. Moments later, with bags still in our hands, we woke up next to that main screeching door. That old watchman was still standing next to us, with his eyes wide open and staring at us. He said one last time, "Be careful, my daughter needs me. Go back to your homes." Dumbstruck, we saw that old watchman moving towards the bungalow, to the same door from where the screams were still coming out, and a voice uttering, "You are next, Toastmaster." Thank you.